Hi, this is a tutorial for those designers that are not really familiar with the Unity as well as 2D Toolkit. I had a question on how to change the background. As you all know, this is the default scene that I have. You can actually go to the background that I already have, and this is the associated collection that 2D Toolkit will automatically create for any separate textures that is not part of your atlas that you did not make by yourself. So when you select the background and press delete, it will remove both the original game object as well as the associated collections, and then you can go to the create TK2D spread from texture. What this is that it's asking for a new texture. You can lock this for now. You can go to GeoMatch framework. I have imported some of these new backgrounds here just to test it out. These are not included in the original JMF. So for example, if I want to use this fancy light texture, just drag it across, and now you have your new texture. The new default pixel per meter for 2D Toolkit is now 100. JMF was using 2D Toolkit when the default was 20. So you can just set this back to 20 and boom, this is your original size of the picture. The picture is actually quite large, that's why it looks kind of large here. So now you can actually reparent this in the middle center and set it backwards again just to be consistent, and probably just rename this background again, and when you press play, the background has changed. I have not found a way to automatically fit the background into and stretch it for different resolutions, so you probably need to adjust the you probably need to adjust the scale yourself. You can go to the game view and have a look. Yeah, I have not found an automatic way to do this. So yeah, it looks much cooler now. So that's concerning the background. So you can use textures, the sprite from texture to do it. It's really simple because backgrounds are, if you want a high resolution background, it's really large, so it's not advisable to put it into atlas like what I had here. Oops. I have a resource atlas. These are all the sprites that I have that you all should know. Another thing concerning the developers, the designers' questions is how to change from the default landscape to portrait. Some of them may not know how to do it. What is the easiest way is actually to change this to portrait view. As you can see that it sort of like scales by itself. You go to the TK2D camera. In the native resolution, you just flip this around. Let's just say that my portrait now is 800 by 1280. So 1280 here, and you can see that now it's the correct size, just that all my anchors are set up for landscape, so you may need to readjust the anchors. For example, I have this minaret anchor. If you go to the scene view, you can see that the 00 coordinates for this anchor is here. What we can do is we change this anchor point to, let's say, the upper center, and then our side panel, we assume that it's no longer in the going downwards. Maybe you have to make a new panel that maybe goes sideways. So I can just take this and rotate it sideways like this. So now when also the position is not to the left a bit, it's actually down a bit now. So when I go to my scene view, I can like adjust it there, as well as the collect these is no longer needed there. I'll just it's not shown anyway. For example, the lower left, I have the audio source. I can actually drag this somewhere else and put it down here, so that when I play it, you'll have the portrait mode now. And then you can actually go to the game manager panel and resize it as you need, because some of you may have a bigger GUI. So as you can see now, it's in portrait. Just imagine these are rightwards. So that's about the landscape to portrait. And another thing is that if you were to use the latest 2D toolkit, as I mentioned earlier, the default pixel per meter is now 100. As well as if you use NGUI, their scale is actually very small also. So if you were to use my JMF to other assets, and JMF may seem really big, all you have to do is just change this to the appropriate pixel per meter. I'm not sure what is the best to set, but you can start off with the new default, which is 100. But when you change the pixel per meter here, as well as when you change the portrait just now, I forgot to mention that I have two cameras in the scene. You have to adjust both of them to be identical. So the anim's camera, make sure that it's 800 times 120 also, and the pixel per meter is 100. And another place that you have to adjust is your atlas. We go to your resources, you open your atlas, and under settings there's also the pixel per meter here, so you change this to 100. And there are also other interesting things that you have to set here to make it look nice. Some of you may be interested in knowing that it's always nice to have maybe one pad amount, so that it doesn't have that funny lines by the border. Sometimes it does have it when it's like 0, so 1 would be good. And also the collider depth, you don't really need 1, as long as there is a bit of depth. As long as it's not 0, it's okay. 1 is fine too. And the filter mode depends, makes it look how sharp it is or how smooth it is. So trilinear should be okay. So once you're done, you click commit. It may take a while to commit and save everything. Once you're done, you close it, and now your scene is a bit garbled. All you have to do is just press play. 2D toolkit will fix itself. So now the board is really big because it's still in the, according to the 20 pixel per meter. All you do is you just scale it back down. So press play. Still a bit too big. You'll have to do all this fine tuning yourself, so if you really want your game to look good. Yeah. As you can see, when I change the pixel per meter, everything looks quite garbled, because when you change the pixel per meter, for example, the side panel, the Y is no longer negative 6.4. It's like actually smaller than that right now. See, it's using like a value of maybe 4 or 3 or something smaller. -1, about there. So you see all the scales become smaller. So all the default scaling that I've set, like you see all this -1.5, is actually a much smaller value now. So you'll see they're all stretched apart really far. So you'll have to move all this back into position one by one, or your own GUI one by one back into position. So yeah, things like that. So if you see in the game mode, I have moved these few assets and now they're back in position. So you have to adjust one by one. Unless you don't want to change the pixel per meter, then just leave it as 20. 100. Yeah, see, now the picture looks better now. So that's in regards to the native resolution, as well as the pixel per meter, and how to set the background. Thanks.